Hi, I'm James, and today we have a MacBook Air M1 on the desk, and this machine is failing to turn on either when we press the TouchID button or when we connect a charger. So normally this should have powered on, but we are getting no response at all from it. Now, I have actually already looked at this laptop, and what I was able to identify is that the small audio board which connects the TouchID and the audio to the device appeared to have some kind of water damage or some marking on it, and disconnecting it and connecting the charger allows the machine to power on, but with it connected we get no response. So today we are going to be replacing that board, and we are going to start by turning the machine over and getting a, I think it is 1.2mm pentalobe screwdriver bit, and we are just going to remove the 10 screws from the back. As I remove these, I just place them off to the side in the same positions as I removed them from, so that I can put everything back where it originally came from, just in case there are some different length or thread screws in there. With those screws removed, our next job is to remove this back panel, and on these M1s this is pretty easy to do. We are simply going to grip and lift the panel off. Once inside, our first job then is going to be to disconnect the battery, just to ensure that we don't accidentally for any reason turn the laptop on whilst we are working on it. So we are going to use the tip of the spudger here, and there is a little retention clip, so metal clip that runs over the battery connector here. So we are going to unplug that and then lift up and off the battery connector. This ensures that the laptop cannot be accidentally powered on whilst we are working on it. Now we need to turn our attention to the audio board in the top left corner of the machine here. And first of all, we have this shield, and we need to remove the 3 Torx 4 size screws from this. And place those to one side, and then gently remove the shield from that. Next we have 3 cables to disconnect. The first and probably most awkward is the speaker cable here. So what we're going to do is get the tip of our pry tool and just gently pull that from below and lift it out of the way. Next we have this longer connector here which connects the audio board back to the main board, and again using this end of the pry tool I am just going to lift it up and out of the way. Finally we have the TouchID connector, and what we want to do, again, just very gently lift that out of the way. There is a little adhesive on the underside of the TouchID cable, and if you damage this cable, it's going to be only Apple who can replace the TouchID sensor, so be very careful not to put too much pressure or damage that as you do so. Now we have a further 3 Torx T4 screws that need removing. The first is here. Again, placing these to one side, and then these 2 silver screws by the headphone jack. With that done, our board is now free, and what we're going to do is just use the pry tool, just lifting these cables out of the way as much as possible, and using the pry tool to lift it up and then slide it out from the chassis here. We can then put that to one side and bring in our replacement board, and again we are just going to ensure cables are pulled out of the way, slide the headphone jack into position and refit our screws. With screws refitted, we can now go through and reconnect the TouchID. The mainboard connector. This is a little tricky as we have to kind of push it back. It naturally wants to sit a bit further forward, I've found. So we get in and then sort of push it down flat and then push it in with the end of the pry tool to get it into place and press down. And finally the speaker connector, which again we kind of have to pull up and then press down with the end of the pry tool. Before reassembly, I'm then going to quickly reconnect the battery. Open the laptop up. So connecting the power, the laptop has powered on. And having shut it down, testing again with the TouchID button. And so everything appears to be working satisfactorily with this new board fitted. And so now, just to finish things off, I'm going to quickly disconnect the battery again and refit this shield. Before finally reconnecting the battery again. And with that done, we can now replace the back panel. Returning to our pentalobe screwdriver. All that is left to do is to refit the 10 screws and we're done. I hope you found this video helpful. Do hit like if it has helped you repair your system. Subscribe if you would like to see more videos as we post them in the future. And comment below if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.